and the snow falls, the wind calls, the year turns round again, and like barleycorn who rose from the grave, a new year will rise up again.
And the snow falls, sings Bob Fox in the song The Year Turns, as part of his production of Warhorse, playing sold-out theatres, performing as the Songman. And that recording was taken for the last time Bob appeared on the Young'uns podcast. And Bob Fox is our guest this week on the Young'uns podcast. And the reason I decided to start with the line, and the snow falls, is because you may be able to hear, the perceptive audience members among you might be able to hear the sound of snow under my feet. The snow has well and truly fallen here at Calgary, Canada, where we are doing some gigs. And I am walking up a hill now with the other two young'uns who are in front of me, Mr. Sean Cooney and Michael Hughes. Oh, that wasn't Sean Cooney and Michael Hughes. That was a dog, incidentally, listeners. And we are walking up a hill in the snow with a sleigh. There's some trees at the bottom, that's going to be interesting. And what we're going to do, we're going to go down the hill on this sleigh while I introduce the Bob Fox podcast, in a podcast with a hilarious title, Bob Sleigh Fox. That time it was, Sean. Okay.
It's more ice than snow, this dude.
I'm going to sit in the sleigh, I'm going to introduce the Bob Fox podcast, which was recorded at our singing weekend a year ago, I think, in Beverley. Oh God, it's going already. And then I think as an outro to the podcast, we'll do it so that we're the three of us. We'll try doing it with the three of us, which might be quite difficult because it's not the largest sleigh.
Should we check, listeners, it is actually a field at the bottom and not a lake?
Well, you said there's some trees at the bottom, so that could be quite interesting. We're about to go.
Right, Joe, somebody to push you.
Go on and give me a push. Here we go.
2, 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bob Sleigh Fox. This is the young and oh, bloody hell. I was trying to maintain composure, but it's somewhat difficult. I don't know how much you can hear there of what I was saying. And now, for Beverley, this is Bob Fox.
So what we thought we'd do is
Sit here and take the piss out of Bob Fox for half an hour. I know what you thought.
not half an hour, but only 25 minutes, my friend, only 25. And then, Bob, things for you. Are you having a bit of a resting period in terms of, if you compare it to what things were like a couple of years ago with the whole Warhorse thing? Or?
Not really, David. No, I'm not. I'm still absolutely busy, and I can't believe it. I started off around about 1974 or 5.
You're starting off in 74. Actually, let's put tea back till 7:45. I mean, he's the only person who said, have you been busy, Bob? Yeah, 1974. Go on, Bob, give us your Wikipedia article.
Yeah. And it's just been busy ever since, and every year I look at it and I think, maybe this year is the year when it's going to start to tail off, and it never does. It just gets busier and busier all the time.
So when it comes to Warhorse then, is there anything in particular, obviously you're spending time with the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
So is there kind of like odd things therefore?
There are lots of odd things that happen. The main thing of it is that it's extremely intense. You're away on the road, you're in the same venue for probably 5 or 6 weeks at a time, and you're doing the same show every day. 8 times a week you're doing the same show, sometimes twice a day. And yes, it's very difficult to keep the enthusiasm for it, because every time you go out there, you've got to make it look like it's the first time you've done it.
And you're so natural at it, Bob, but we were, when we went to see you at Warhorse, there was a strange situation that we were all watching it, and Michael was watching it with us as well. And all of a sudden, Michael, he forgot to turn his phone off, and it vibrated in his pockets. And in the interval, he had a cheeky look to see who it was. And it was Bob Fox. And we thought, how can it be Bob Fox? He's just been on the stage. And he says in the first thing, yeah, just in between me bits and Warhorse, just sending this thing, and he was trying to. I think it was when
I was organising a gig.
Organising a gig.
I was organising a gig with the
and he was
boss.
in the dressing room, and he was saying, and then he said, "Shit, I've just had the cue." And then he went running back on stage, and I got like a PS about 20 minutes later. Back off again.
Back in a minute.
So it must be strange. So it must be odd doing solo gigs. Because solo gigging is obviously very different because it's just you and you can improvise and you can do things like that. But there isn't really room for that. No matter how I mean, that was difficult for us when we were doing Peter Bellamy's Transport stuff because we suddenly felt really nervous because if we bugger this up now, you can't suddenly go, I'll have a bit of a laugh about it.
That's right,
because there's loads of other people there on the stage and it completely ruins the performance. You can't go, and the air turns, oh shit, sorry about that.
No, it's true. It's one of the hardest things to get to grips with doing something like that for me was the discipline of it all. Because I've spent all those years being on my own as a solo performer where if I can choose what I sing. If somebody says, will you sing this one tonight, I can do it. If I'm not feeling too good, I can change the songs that I do. I can change the keys even, I can do all of that sort of thing on solo gigs. But as soon as you're in a set piece, you've got to do the same thing every time.
So did it feel like a really liberating thing after the Warhorse when you suddenly came back?
Fantastic. First of all, I did a year and a half in the West End show. Then I had 6 months off. Then I did a year and a half in the touring show. And as soon as I finished the touring show, started to do solo gigs again. And within about a fortnight, I didn't miss Warhorse at all. And I realised how much I'd missed doing solo gigs. Because, it's this kind of thing, you're in places like this and you're able to interact with the audience. I wasn't allowed to interact with the audience.
I mean, obviously this is all scripted though, Bob, this is everything.
I got the thing this morning from you when I was...
Do you have, because you're doing it all the time and it gets ingrained into your psyche, do you have Warhorse-related dreams where things go wrong or anything like that?
No, I have Warhorse-related reality where things go wrong. I remember in the first, when I was in the West End show, just talking about the discipline of it all. You have to turn up for rehearsals at the right time and all that. You get calls and you have to go and... You only have Sunday off. I remember saying to the company manager one day that I was going somewhere on the Sunday to do a gig. And he said, you can't do that. I said, why not? He said, because you're on an exclusive contract. You can't go and do it. I said, but it's my day off. And they said, well, yeah, and that's what it's got to be. It's got to be a day off. Wow. You can't go and do a gig because if you go and do a gig and then you come back on Monday and your voice is gone. So after that, I didn't tell him about the Sunday gigs.
Excellent.
Because there was one where I'd taken on the Skegness, the Butlins. Have you ever been to the Butlins?
Yeah.
I'd taken it on in the afternoon with Peggy, Dave Pegg, and Dave Pegg had this afternoon thing, which was Friends of Fairport, and he asked me if I would go and do a few songs with them and all that. So I went up and did this on the Sunday afternoon, and I thought, well, I might as well get a gig on the Sunday night as well. So I got in touch with Hitchin Folk Club, and I got the Hitchin Folk Club on the Sunday night. So I'd done the 8 shows, Warhorse. Saturday night, Sunday morning, early morning, drove up to Butlins in Skegness, did the sound check, did the afternoon concert, had a little bit of drink with Peggy, and then finished that at about 4 o'clock, drove down to Hitchin, did the Hitchin Folk Club, stayed the night in the hotel where Hitchin Folk Club is, went back on the Monday morning, back to my digs in London, and I thought, well, that was alright, that was easy. Went in, did the show Monday night, first half, fantastic, second half, knock on the door, you just missed a cue. I was asleep.
Oh my goodness!
I'm in the dressing room like this. You've missed a cue. So
what happened?
Well, nothing. They just carried on without it because the audience don't know that there's supposed to be a song. No, you know what I mean.
How long do you wait though? That's the thing. Bob stumbles onto the stage.
He was too busy emailing me. That was a
but Michael and Bob have struck up a bit of an internet liaison on Match.com, and didn't know each other out. It was quite embarrassing. Oh, you're a folk singer as well. You can be my Warhorse tonight.
Oh,
dear me, dear.
Yeah.
Tia's bringing.
That's a different one.
Well. That's me and you, Bob. Are you thinking about doing other musicals, Bob? Branching out into Cats? Something like that, maybe. Here in the West End. Yeah.
Bit of Oliver.
No. It's funny because there's loads of people down there. They all said, are you going to do some more after this is finished? And I said, I don't think so. Not unless there's a role for a folk singer. Because the great thing about Warhorse is I'm not really doing anything except doing what I normally do. I'm just going on and being myself. I'm going on and I'm singing folk songs. Although I am dressed up as a farmer and I have to sing in a Devon accent. But even that, I kind of reined that back a little bit after the rehearsals, once I got into the show. Because I used to say to the voice coach, how many times have you heard somebody singing a song and then you hear them speak? And you think, well, I didn't realise that they were from there. Because when you sing slightly differently, don't you? You kind of... I know you have a very posh accent, David. Yeah, you could almost be in an opera, couldn't you?
Oh, of course. Of
Yeah.
course. And it's frightfully nice of you to say so.
With that beautiful,
My dear.
with that beautiful bass baritone.
Had a little bit of an idea, Bob.
Yeah.
We found Trivial Pursuit.
Oh yeah.
And we thought we would we'd try and play a little game with you, Bob. Maybe we'll give you the answer to the question, and you have to see if you can work out what the question is. So we're sort of trying to fox Bob Fox.
No.
So, any ideas there, Mr. Kenny, that we might have?
Okay, right, we'll start with an easy one, Bob.
This is a bit like being on Mock the Week, then, isn't it?
Yeah. Without the pay.
Only I'm the week. I'm the one that's weak.
Your answer is
Yes.
Ben Kingsley. What's the question? Ben Kingsley's the answer.
Well, what is the question? Oh, have I got my question?
Yeah. That's my question to you.
Ben
People
Kingsley.
in the audience, I'm sure. Yeah.
Eh?
Andy, what's the question?
I know. Who played that? Who played that?
Award-winning Richard Attenborough. Okay, Bob. Well, you got that one all right. So
Don't know how you do it, my friend.
I know. Skill.
Okay, right. Your answer is the bathroom.
Later, Michael.
The bathroom. Okay, what did the famous folk group, The Changing Room, change their names from?
Yeah. Oh, excellent.
It's very good.
Let's have an answer from the floor. What do you think? The answer is the bathroom. What's the question?
What do Americans call the loo?
Oh, that's a good
That's a
Oh.
very good answer,
Yeah.
Harry, but it's not right. The bathroom, Kenny.
How do you know it's not right? You've got the answer. Oh, right.
Oh, dear. It's going to be a good gig, everybody. Yeah.
We're thinking emperors and paintings.
What's the category? What?
Oh, sorry, the category's brown. What's brown?
Brown?
It's brown. What?
Where did
Napoleon hang the Mona Lisa.
in the bathroom? Toot suits is the answer. What's the question?
Which suits were in fashion in the 1940s? Just words.
Yeah, you're
Very
close,
good.
but I need a keyword beginning.
What did Winston
No, church is not in it. I need a keyword beginning with H. And I didn't know it was a word.
Brilliant.
What kind of suit did True something wear in 1942? Beginning with H.
Hipsters.
No.
Hippies?
Yeah. Hep cats.
Hip cats.
What's a hep? I don't even know what hep cat is.
It's
Well,
what
you
a,
chose the question.
it's what a hipster is now.
Oh,
Give me them.
That Bob Fox, he's a real groovy hep cat.
Where's the answers at? On the other side.
What is it? Do you not do this at Christmas, Bob?
Right, David, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. The answer is Woody Allen.
The Woody Allen.
Not the Woody Allen.
All right.
That's something. That's something.
He's one of our guests.
That's something completely different.
Yeah. You'll get that later if you know. That's part of your payment. 100 quid in a Woody Allen.
Was that not? Was that not something to do with the bathroom?
Well, that'll be Woody.
think logically here. Think of these.
Woody Allen.
Think of these famous.
So you'd say, well, I know it'd be something like what was being? He's in Toy Story. No, he's not in Toy Story. I'm thinking Woody. I was too busy trying to think.
Did he write This Land Is Your Land? Come on, Davey, Woody Allen.
Woody Allen.
Woody Allen. Something about a comedian. What film was?
I'll give you a clue. If it was one of his films, if it was a folk song, it might have the word fair before it. Fair? His famous film, I think that's the answer.
That's not the answer.
My Fair Lady. My Fair Lady.
No, just fair, not the...
Fair. I don't know. Fair.
Think
Fair
Tom,
Annie.
Fair Annie, so Annie's his favourite film, but we know that's not the answer now.
think Tom Jones.
Think Tom
Delilah.
Woody Allen, fair.
Unusual.
To fall it ain't unusual to be loved by anyone.
Close.
So loved by
Anyone from the floor, give us a... So...
Who directed Annie Hall?
Go on, Kate.
Annie Hall.
Good answer, but it's not the right answer.
So, what was the clue again? Tom Jones was the
No,
clue.
no, well, Tom
Woody
Jones was
Allen's
the
the
clue.
answer. Tom
Woody
Jones
Allen
is
is
the
the
clue
answer.
to the question.
Will take the part of a sperm.
Oh.
What's that got to do with Tom Jones?
So, give us another clue, Bob.
Who directed everything you want to know about sex with the two of them?
No! Here.
Ah,
There we are.
who wrote and appeared in What's New?
Pussycats. Ah.
Not as easy as it
Should we do
sounds.
one more
Right.
for you, Davey?
Oh,
One more.
all right, okay,
One more.
Right.
I'm glad you didn't go for the other one on here.
What was that?
Bob, the answer, the Iranian embassy.
All right, well.
Terror around that one.
The answer is The Who.
The Who.
The
I don't
Who.
know who wrote Pinball Wizard. We could go for ages this, couldn't we?
This is easy, this, Davey.
I think this is easy, but it's not easy because it could be a matter of all sorts of things. Who wrote We Won't Get Old Again?
I mean, it's a cinch.
Do I have to just? Well, I have to just say Who tracks. I mean, what?
No.
What band is Pete Townsend in? I mean,
No,
Well, that would work, but it's not the right
that's
answer.
what I mean. So how am I meant to guess the question from this? You say it's easy, Michael.
It's really, really easy.
Well, it's not easy, is it?
No, it's really easy.
But how is it easy? It could be a myriad. What I'm saying is, Michael.
I'll tell you how it's easy, because we've got the card. that doesn't
Exactly.
really-
It could be a myriad of questions about the Who. Couldn't
Okay, well, the
it?
answer.
Try and give it a turning, shall we?
Well, this is obvious.
It's not obvious. How can it be obvious? How can it be obvious? Like, come on, give me the odds. What could it be? What is it then?
My generation.
No, Tommy, my generation.
Yes, they're all right. They're all
They're
the
all
right.
right.
They're all
so
the
what's
right.
the
answer.
one? What's the one, Michael?
Which rock group staged a farewell concert in New York in October the 11th?
That's right, very good.
Ah,
Very, very good. I mean, that's obvious.
how did you do that?
Go on, Davey.
I'm surprised you didn't get that, Davey.
I would have done that one.
Absolutely ridiculous. So we were talking about dreams.
Yes, and I'm in a
Do
very
you?
bad one at the moment. I never dream. I can never dream because I have so much to drink before I go to sleep that I'm not really asleep. I have no bad dreams at all. I just have nice dreams. Fluffy kittens.
That's another one of his nicknames for Michael. I mean, we
Sorry.
just wait until you're in the bathroom.
In the
together,
bathroom,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, my war horse, my fluffy kitten. What about?
I remember when I was doing gigs with Billy Mitchell, and he's written a great song called "The Call Your Laddie's Wife," and we were talking about just before he started to sing it. He said, "So tonight you'll have to just imagine me in a dress." And I said, "Can I not wait until we get back to the Travelodge?"
Is there a particular disastrous gig, Bob, you remember? Or a gig that just went ridiculously wrong?
You must have terrible experiences, David.
I think in your years of experience, 1974, if you remember that far back, there must have been something that you just thought, how on earth did I get through that, or how did that happen?
There was a gig when I was on tour with Stu Luckley a long time ago in Germany, and we played at a place called Rinteln, and we played at a Krankenhaus, which, as you know, is a hospital. Yeah, it's a hospital. And
You played a gig in a hospital?
we did. We played, it was a British Forces tour. So we were playing in British Forces places, bases and things. And there was a hospital and had a social club, and we went, and it was for people who were in hospital, and it was a great gig. But they put us on with a German Umpa band. Right? And if you know anything about the German Umpa band, you know that there's about 40 of them, and they play massively loud brass instruments. And they went on and did something like 25 or 30 minutes just before us. And when they were finished and we started, we couldn't hear anything. Your ears had been completely affected by the sound of these brass instruments. And everybody in the room, I started to talk, and I couldn't hear that I was talking. And they couldn't hear that I was talking. And that was a bit weird.
Has anybody from the floor got a question,
for Bob? Yes.
Yeah.
What first got you interested in folk music?
You know, the number of times I've heard people being interviewed, and I think you lads, I heard you being interviewed about that, they always seem to ask you that question. And the answer always seems to be the same. The answer for me is that when I was at school, I was very interested in pop music. I was playing the guitar, I was playing Beatles songs and Kinks and Yardbirds and stuff like that. I found myself in a pub underage, and there was something going on in the back room, and I went to have a look to see what it was, and it was the folk club. And it was one of the places where you could go underage and have a drink as long as you just sat quietly and listened to what was going on. And that was it. That was how I first got interested in folk music. I was actually interested in drinking. And
So it's the same with us, although we didn't sit quietly.
well, I sat quietly for a while, and then in this particular folk club, it was in a pub called the Dun Cow in Seaton Village, which is in Seaham, where I come from. And I would sit and I would listen to whoever was singing, and it was the normal format, you know, a few floor singers and occasionally a guest artist would come. In those days, everybody who got up and sang a couple of songs got a little token, and you exchanged the token for a free pint. So you know, that was it, and so I got drawn in a little bit more, and I started to do a floor spot, and then from then on, people just said, "Oh,
That still happens around the way in a couple of places.
Yeah, and I've read people's interviews, and I've heard other people's interviews, and it's all very, very similar, very similar. And then you get drawn in. Once you've been drawn into that music, it's just one of those things. You know, you realise that's where you should be. And it's a nice world. It's a lovely world. It's a beautiful world to live in. It's much nicer than the real world.
Who are your heroes then, Bob?
Apart from us.
Who are you?
David, how old were you in 1974, son?
I've lied about my age as well on Match.com.
And your picture.
It's not.
And the picture's not really you, I know. What was the question?
Come on, Fluffy.
Well, okay. I'll tell you. When I was at school, the music teacher had this idea that every week he would play different kinds of music to us. And one day he played a song by Martin Carthy, and it was the Ballad of the Spring Hill Mine Disaster. It's a song written by McCullen Seeger, I think. And it was about a mining disaster in Nova Scotia. I come from Seaham Harbour, and Seaham was an entirely coal mining town. And my dad and my granddad and all my relations were coal miners. And I heard this song, and it just resonated with me immediately about this disaster in Nova Scotia. And I thought, there must be some songs from round about here. There must be songs about it. If there's songs from Nova Scotia, there must be songs from the northeast. And then I went to this local folk club to drink underage, and found that in the local folk club, loads and loads of people were singing coal mining songs from the northeast. Tommy Armstrong songs, all that sort of stuff. I was very impressed by Martin Carthy's guitar playing, because I was playing the guitar at the time. And I bought his first album, which this song is on. I don't think it's got a name. I think it's just called Martin Carthy. It's the one with him sitting on a pallet, being lifted up into the air. I learned every song on the album, learned every guitar accompaniment exactly the way he did it, because I was so impressed with it. And I went and started to play those songs around the local folk clubs, and everybody said, "Oh, great, this is great." And then Nick Jones was the other one that I listened to a lot, and then realised that if I was going to sort of be known at all in my own right, I would have to have my own style. I couldn't just copy them, because there was loads of people doing it as well. There was loads of other people doing that. They were the main influences on my singing and guitar.
Just an interesting interjection. We were talking earlier on, Bob, about people finding their own voices. So when you were hearing Carthy, he was the big inspiration of you.
Yeah.
And you were singing his songs from that album.
Yeah.
Were you singing like him?
I was, of course. Yeah.
So how did you develop your voice then?
Can you do an impression of it now then?
Oh God, yeah, of course I can.
Oh, let's have it. Let's have a Carthy impression.
And all they had to say concerning creeping Jane was he's not able for to gallop all the day, blow the day out, the diddle all the day out. And all that they could say concerning creeping Jane was he's not able for to gallop all the day, blow the day.
You didn't take 20 minutes to tune a guitar. And the second thing was you can't. I think it's so ingrained now, and I'm interested to know when is the this that you've got these real grace notes that keep coming into it.
Oh, they just came from listening to all those singers.
Yeah. But I think the way you do it is so synonymously Bob Fox. There's very few people who do it in the way that you do.
I think it is. When I got the job in Warhorse as well, in Warhorse I have two understudies. So there are two other people who learn all the songs, two actors who learn all the songs. And they were always coming to me and saying, "Teach me how to do that." Because that's actors, they learn their skills. Like the people who were the puppeteers in the horses. Now, they were actors that were trained to be puppeteers. just before the show. So they signed up as actors to be puppeteers because they want to put that skill on their CV for future work. And so they constantly are learning new skills. And they were coming to me, and the understudies were coming and saying, "Can you teach me to sing like that?" And I was saying, "Well, yeah, you just do it like like this." And they couldn't do it. They couldn't. It was one of the few things that an actor couldn't learn to do, because I've been doing it for 30 years, 40 years.
It's interesting because if you only sing like that, and you'd have thought you sing so much that it may even creep into talking, but it doesn't. She's sort of going, "Hello, how are you?" That kind of thing. So it doesn't. You obviously, so you interpret all of these songs, and I think it's safe to say that the way you sing is that not only you're a singer, but you're an interpreter. You're really sort of, I think you produce the meaning of a song, and you really get to the bottom, whether it's an intentional thing or whether it's just something that happens organically. Have you ever thought about writing songs or tried to write songs?
Oh yeah, loads of times.
Have you got something involved that you?
No.
Something that you're working on?
No.
That's been on the back burner for 42 years?
No. I've never written a song, never ever. I've tried a few times, always scrapped all of my attempts.
What about that song you wrote on Van Damme's Day for Michael? Go on, you're my fluffy kitten. Fluffy kitten. I'm so smitten. I'm the fluffy kitten. Meet me in the bathroom tonight. Yeah, you remember it, Michael?
Oh, yeah. He remembers it better than I do.
But I mean, people write songs for you, Bob, don't they? I mean, the whole Warhorse thing, John Tams, who wrote the music for it, he always had you in mind, even though they've been different singers.
We're working at the moment on an album. Lots of people ask me if I would record the songs from Warhorse, because I do a solo show which is all the songs from Warhorse. Because in Warhorse, I don't know if you've seen it, but in Warhorse, the songman quite often only gets to sing one or two lines from the songs.
That's if he remembers to sing them, of course.
That's if he remembers to turn up. And the songs that John wrote for the play are fantastic. Some of them have got lots of verses, and I thought I would put a show together that where I sang all the verses to all the songs. So he sent me all the verses, and people asked me if I would record the Warhorse songs. So I did. I did it. I recorded all the Warhorse songs on an album called Bob Fox the Songman, and then I checked it out with John and with the National Theatre as to whether I could bring this out. And they said, "No, you can't. It's completely covered by copyright, and you can't do it. You're not allowed to do it." But then John said to me, "Why don't we do it properly? Why don't we do it with the authority of the National and everything?" And he said he would like to be associated with me. He said he would like it to be an anthology where he was the song maker and I was the song singer. And so we're currently working on sort of legitimising that CD to bring it out properly. But no, I've never tried to write. I'm just in complete awe of people who write songs. Because the thing I can do is interpret. I can spot a good song. I never sing a song if I don't understand it. I never sing a song if I don't understand it completely and agree with it. Do you know what I mean? There's got to be a reason for singing a song. And most of the times, all of the time that I sing songs, I'm singing songs to say to people that are listening, listen to this great song. Yeah. I'm not saying to them, listen to me. Listen to how great I play this song. So anyway, as far as writing songs is concerned, I started off trying, and then I decided that I wasn't any good at it.
When you did try, do you remember what you were writing about or trying to write about?
Yeah, because I always could find a song by somebody else that was a proper songwriter.
Yeah.
That was better than
so you
my
thought,
effort.
I'll write about this, and then you found another song about it.
Why doesn't somebody write a song about this? And then I would find one and think, oh yeah, that's great, I'll just sing that.
Is there a song that you could sing unaccompanied?
Unaccompanied
with
all
us? Sing together, maybe? Is that
the songs that we could sing is a song from the Pitman Poets show that we do.
Oh, yeah.
And the Pitman Poets show, it's basically an entertainment. It's not supposed to be a kind of doom and gloomy disaster and strike show. But there are points that we have to make, and one of the great songs that I get to sing, written by Jock Purden. Jock Purden was a Bevan boy, came down from the Midlothian coalfields and settled in County Durham, and he settled in a little place called Chesley Street, where I live now. And he used to go to the Berkeley Folk Club, and in the Berkeley Folk Club, he met up with the singing family there, the Elliott family, who were great sort of custodians of coal mining songs. And Jock wrote lots and lots of songs. And Jock was never afraid to point the finger when he wrote his songs. And there's a great song that he wrote about the 84-85 strike called The Blackleg Mining Man. And it's got everything. It's a great story. It's a great point, and it's got some great bits for you to join in with if you fancy it. Who is that black-legged mining man? Who is that black-legged mining man? He's the one who helps the boss nail his brothers to the cross. Who is that black-legged mining man? Where was that black-legged mining man? Where was that black-legged mining man? He was nowhere to be seen when they killed young Jones and Green. Where was that black-legged mining man? He was that black-legged mining man. He was that black-legged mining man. He was deep down in the mine. He'd gone through the picket line. He was that black-legged mining man. Why does that black-legged mining man? Why does that black-legged mining man dig the black coal? Puts his marrows on the dole. Why does that black-legged mining man? One day, that black-legged mining man. One day, that black-legged mining man. He'll rue what he has done when there's no work for his son. One day, that black-legged mining man. Someday, that black-legged mining man. Someday, that black-legged mining man. He realized he's sold his soul for a tub of black-legged coal. Someday, that black-legged mining man. Then he'll see that black-legged mining man. He'll see that black-legged mining man. When he looks into the glass, a traitor to his class, he'll see that black-legged mining man. And who is that black-legged mining man? Who is that black-legged mining man? He's the one who helps the boss nail his brothers to the cross. He is that black-legged mining man. He is that black-legged mining man. Mr. Bob Fox!
Well, thank you very much to Bob Fox. Oh, I'm now walking up a hill. We're choosing a different hill here, and this one is somewhat icier. Oh, bloody hell! Oh, bloody hell! I can't. Ow! Oh! My God! Just to describe what happened there, I fell down the hill, but fortunately, Sean and Michael saved me there.
Right, are we all doing it?
So the plan now is to try and all do it. The three of us.
I really don't think we're all going to get into that.
Yeah, of course we will. We'll have to just squeeze in. I'll go in the middle. Okay, oh, it's sliding already. Okay, so I'm going to have to... What I'm going to have to do with my feet, I have to cross my legs. Right. No. Michael, no. No, Michael. Don't you video. No. Get on the sleigh.
It's impossible.
Get on the sleigh, Michael.
We have like feet sort of kicking off it.
I've got... Cross your legs. Cross your legs. Surely, isn't it? Here we are. Any excuse? Oh yeah, you could cross them over me. Oh, we're in. Here we go. We're going to try it with the three of us. Sean's got his hands around the sleigh and he's pushing off. It's creeping forward and now it's picking up speed. My goodness. Ah! Oh. Thank you very much for listening to this week's Youngers Podcast. We'll be back next week with another Youngers.
Oh dear me.
Just to explain, listeners, I've fallen out of the sleigh. Both have fallen out of the sleigh. What I was trying to say was, thank you for listening to this week's Youngers Podcast. Bob Sleigh Fox. We'll be back next week with something else. Could go ice skating, skiing, windsurfing. Oh, it's moving already. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas.